The stance of Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and his allies on removal of the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party is dangling like a sword of Damocles over the party. As such, the senator representing Enugu East Senatorial District at the National Assembly, Chimaroke Nnamani, has cautioned the party's leadership against ignoring Governor Wike and his four colleagues. Senator Nnamani, a former governor of Enugu State, noted that it would be sheer arrogance to ignore a critical group of 5 sitting governors, saying doing so will work against the overall interest of the PDP in the 2023 elections. Meanwhile, the PDP presidential candidate, Atiku Abubakar, has rescheduled his campaign to enable new emissaries sent to the embattled Governor Wike intervene in the lingering crisis. The days ahead promise to be very interesting. Atiku Yusuf.
It's a very complicated thing. And some of the things I see lately, I get embarrassed, you know, do we have Democrats or who do we have? You get my point? Wike and his allies have grievances, genuine, whatever. And you see, in a democracy, in party politics, you will always have your say. Most times, you don't have your way. I think by now, all this every day, by now, those things should have subsided. If you say they should remove a duly elected chairman of the party, and you are made to believe that, one, if you do this, it will plunge the party into a deeper crisis. Why don't we wait till after the election? You see, but I don't pity the PDP. You see, at a point, people like Wike were the lords of the party. Their words were laws and what they wanted. So it was more or less like the spirit and soul of that party at the time. So now the party is paying for it. What it's doing currently, as far as I'm concerned, there's a limit to everything. You get my point? The campaign, because I believe too well, if Wike had won the presidential ticket of the party, would he have called for you to resign? And if somebody who is dissatisfied has insisted that I should, would he have listened to? Now, the person that is flying the party's ticket is Atiku Abubakar, either personally or through his emissaries. Meetings upon meetings I've heard. By now, you should know what is possible in terms of negotiations, what I can trade, what I cannot accept, what you can trade, what you cannot accept. By now, I am too sure. The campaigns have started. You said, Ayu should go. The man said, no, Ayu cannot go until maybe after the election. That if Ayu goes, it will sink the party deeper into bigger problems. Now, so far, if you are a Democrat and in the spirit of sportsmanship, what should you do? By now, as I keep telling people, 1 million Wikis cannot make PDP win the next presidential election. And 1 million, Wiki cannot make the party lose. The Nigerian people will choose. You get my point? It has come to a point, the PDP, the APC, this election is going to be a totally different election.
All right,
because the people have seen the two. And whatever the people want is what they will do.
All right, Mikhail, Senator Nnamani has spoken.
Yes, he made a very valid point. I am not going to repeat some of what I had said here a long time ago. Wike has a very valid argument. And even people from other parts of the country have said the same thing. If Wike had won the primaries, definitely would not have called for Ayu's sack, because that balance that does not exist now would naturally have existed. Ayu is from the north, he is from the south. There's a tradition in their party that the presidential candidate and the national chairman don't come from the same region. Everyone knows that. I've seen PDP organize an extraordinary national convention just to remove the national chairman after President Jonathan emerged as the candidate of the party. And the president, the national chairman at that time was from the south, in fact, from the southeast. So there's a valid argument there. And that is why it's difficult for governors of the PDP from the south to oppose publicly what Wike is doing. Because if they do that, it will set them against their own people. You understand? Because the argument is, look, these things should go to the south. And the chairman made that promise. It's on record. The video is there that if the candidate of the party comes from the north, I will step down. So you cannot say they are fighting over nothing. What they should be doing is to see how they can manage the situation. And the situation is not helped by the hawks on both sides. The hawks on both sides are stiffening their position and saying, no, nothing will happen, nothing will happen. How many governors, how many sitting governors does PDP have that they can risk having 5 governors against them? Already the odds are stacked against them with people like, with the coming of Obi. Because Obi is going to fish in the same pond as Atiku. Everyone knows that, except people don't understand politics. Now, beyond even Wike, look at some of these powerful people from the south. People like Donald Duke and the rest of them who are also on Wike's side. For the reason that he has said, look, this thing ought to be balanced. It's just for that reason. Wike may have his own selfish interest. But for saying, look, the South deserved a better deal from the PDP, that has made him to earn the support of a good number of people, especially from the South. So before the position of the chairman of the BOT was considered, virtually everything, every position that mattered was from the north. It was a party supposed to be run like that. Was that the way it was before now? The answer is no. So, but that they have allowed this to linger on without finding a way to resolve it shows that internal conflict mechanism, the internal conflict mechanism of the PDP is suspect. They've got to do something. I'm one of those who believes that this matter can be resolved, because even Wike told us that, look, I know that this matter can still be resolved.
Right. Okay.
So they just need to continue to work hard, and ultimately, just as the governor of Bayelsa said, I'm confident that they will find a way to resolve this matter.
All right, gentlemen, we'll need to take a very quick break now. And when we return, the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP will be joining us in this discussion. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. In the studio with me is BKO and Adekunle Yusuf. And now joining us live from Abuja for more discussion on the PDP issue is the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Honorable Debo Ologunagba. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening.
All right.
For having me.
Thank you. All right, the PDP presidential campaign has kicked off. How would you describe the process so far?
I can tell you that the PDP, being a party that is very organized, that is very comprised of people with organizational skills, and we align with our programs in terms of being compliant with the rules and processes, in line with what the Independent National Electoral Commission have set up. Our party have started our own processes with the campaigns. We started with the constitution of the President Campaign Council, and all the organs of that body has been put in place. And we flagged off our campaigns in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital, on Monday, the 10th of October, 2022. So it was fantastic. I'm sure you were represented there. You could see the excitement of Nigerians and all our party men all over the country. So it was successful. It was a massive outing for us, and we are working on that euphoria and moving on with our campaigns as scheduled.
Okay, now the PDP campaign started without Governor Wike and 4 other governors. Tell us what the party is doing to bring back these aggrieved chieftains with just 4 months to election.
Yeah, that's a very important question. I've been following your conversation before now. Our party is very conscious of all our stakeholders, particularly the governors. We recognize the importance of the governors. We recognize every member of this party. And because our party is a party that is founded on the principle of democracy, we encourage discussions and conversations, and in any human endeavor and organization, you're bound to have differences, and then of course you have different approach to it. But because PDP is the only organic party in this country today, we have all the organs of the party. We have the Board of Trustees, we have Governors Forum, we have the NWC. And in these organs, there are resolution and differences resolution mechanism inbuilt there. So that's ongoing. Again, let me put this in perspective for us. When there are differences or dispute, as the case may be, what is important is that the PDP has a mechanism that allows for this process to go on. And resolution of conflicts or differences is not done on TV or on radio. They are beneath. And I can tell you boldly today that the conversation as it was last week is not what it is today, because we're making sure little progress. Reconciliation, negotiation is not a 100-meter dash, but a marathon. And we're doing well, so far so good. Though slow as it appears, surely we believe that as party men who believe in the procedures and the process of the party, and particularly are concerned about where the nation is today, because we are united with. We can have differences, but one thing is clear. Our party members, our stakeholders, our leaders, we are all united on the fact that there's need, an urgent need for that matter, for us as a party to rescue this country. And the hope of the Nigerian people in our party, we recognize the responsibility and we're working well to ensure that everybody is back in the fold. And that process is ongoing, and I have no doubt that we will succeed in that endeavor. Again, what is very important to emphasize is the fact that even with all the differences that seemingly appears to be with us, we are all united. All the leaders, all the governors, every member of this party are united in one purpose, to the extent that there's need for us to rescue this country and begin the very hard work of rebuilding the nation from the monumental failure and the damage that the APC has caused in this country in the last 7 years. So we're conscious of that, and we're very hopeful that, yes, before the election, and probably not too far from now, we'll begin to be in the same situation where we know that everybody is important, and particularly our governors, whom I know are members of this party, and they have declared publicly, particularly Governor Wike, that he will not be leaving the PDP. So we have no reason. And I said it before, that he can't, figuratively, you don't have headache and then go look for cancer. Because he knows that the other parties are cancerous, that the PDP, within it, we can solve our problems. And we're doing that, and we're very, very confident that we'll succeed.
No, you talked about PDP's determination to rescue Nigeria from maladministration. But many people believe that your party has lost the capacity to win a national election of the caliber of the presidential election because of the emergence of Peter Obi of the Labour Party. What they are saying is that Peter Obi is going to do very well in the states where PDP has always excelled. How worried is your party, the PDP, about the emergence of Peter Obi and his obedient group?
Yes. First of all, we are Democrats and we welcome anybody to the forum. But I can tell you this, and clearly, I mean, again, there's different. The Nigerian project is beyond sloganeering. It's about slogan. PDP is the only party that has presence in the 774 local governments in this country, in every unit, in every ward. And for you to win a governorship election or the presidential election, the Constitution has provided what qualification and what you must garner in terms of votes and the spread. You must win the majority of votes, and you must have won in 2/3, or at least 25% in 2/3 of the states to be declared. Having said that, we know it, you know it, that the Labour Party does not have this spread. Atiku Abubakar and the PDP is a trademark that is all over the country. But that does not differ from the fact that Peter Obi is on the ballot. And they have been the one you call obedient. But I can tell you this, that even in the eastern state, the PDP is very strong. We had a consultative meeting in Enugu. Every prominent, important politician and leaders of thought and opinion holders in the Southeast, in our party, were present. If that movement is that strong, perhaps we won't have that kind of president that we had. And so I ask people, when you say Peter Obi is the movement, it changes 4 million, and I'm saying to him, he should set up or have that rally on a Monday in the Southeast, and let's see what the outcome will be. So it's not just enough to have you win on social media, but you need to win on the ground. That's where the votes are. That's what we are targeting. That's who we are speaking to. Yes, social media is very important for communication. Yes, it is important because it's the new thing. Yes, the generation, the demography that are active there needs to be talked to. We are engaging them in that regard. I think we should speak more about the challenges that we have as a country, and people that have the capacity, the experience, the knowledge, and the reach to be able to bring Nigeria together. What we need in this country, first and foremost today, is to have a unified people. And when you have that unified people and people believe in the project called Nigeria, then the challenges of insecurity will be solved, because insecurity is a two-way package, the government and the land. And it is only when you have information from the people that you can get the intelligence you require to be able to fight insecurity. So Obi, yes, is on the ballot, but more beyond the fact that it's a threat to us, we believe Peter Obi is not a threat to the extent that he can win the election, because he cannot win the election. And he knows it. Peter Obi knows it. I challenge him to tell me who is agent in a particular local government in Sokoto State will be. We want a national leader. We don't want people who come with propaganda. We've seen this before, like a movement. In 2015, it was more like a movement, as it were, this way, based on lies and propaganda. And then what is the outcome? Now, life is discounted in the last 7 years than now. So Nigerians are smart. Nigerians know better. They know the glorious years of the PDP, and they have seen another 7.5 years of misery and pain. I'm sure they will make a wise decision And we are not concerned about and worried, like using your word, about Peter Obi, because Peter Obi will not win the election, and he knows that very well.
Well,
Okay.
Do you think that, given the records of your party, which made it possible for the APC to win the election in 2015, do you think Nigerians have forgotten some of the things that they were not happy about, which prompted them to vote for the APC? Do you think they can trust your party even at this time to give the party your votes, given the record of the party, its inability to manage the prosperity that we witnessed during the Jonathan years, for example?
Well, I believe Nigerian people are smarter and wiser than this, and it's not important. We should look at the empirical evidence, look at the facts. In 2015, the unemployment rate in this country was between 8 and 9%. Today, it is over 30%. The PDP, in the 16 years of governing this country, was able to get Nigeria out of debt. Today, we have 40 trillion, 42 trillion, even as acknowledged by the president. You will recall that in 1999, when we came on board, the external reserve of Nigeria was $2 billion. By the time the PDP government was leaving, it was $42 billion. Today, we have moved away from being a country that was in surplus in terms of external reserve to the world headquarters of poverty in the world. Nigerians can do this. Beyond all this, they can connect to kitchen table issues of the fact that in 2015, a bag of rice was about 7,500, 8,000. Today, it is 30,000 plus X, where X can be anything tomorrow. You remember that in 2015, the exchange rate was about 180 naira to a dollar. And people were crying, blue mother then, the APC. Today, it is 750 naira plus X, where X can be anything tomorrow. You have the complete somersault in policy in this government, and Nigerians recognize that the prosperity that they had, the increase in investment from foreign direct investment to the country, making Nigeria the first destination point of investment in the whole of Africa. We are the top of in terms of economy, we're the top rate in terms of investment for foreign investment to the country. Now, today, we know many people are moving money and capital away from Nigeria, no more investment. You recall that the stock market then was about 14 trillion, and return on investment was about 31%. Today, you know better, Nigerians know better. So because Nigerians are smart people, they can compare. And what is good about this election is that it's a referendum on the APC in the past 7.5 years. That are you better in 2015 than you are today? Nigerians can answer that question. We know this government has remained very insensitive. They don't care. They are impervious to correction. They have no team. They're not ready. And in contrast, the candidate of PDP is ready from day one. It's experienced, he has capacity, he has reach. At this level, he has been vice president. And under that presidency, he was the chairman of the National Economic Council that brought about digitalization of Nigeria on the phone. That's why I'm able to communicate with you today. Those are very significant contribution to the economy of Nigeria from the PDP. So Nigerians know this. They know this, and they can make decisions. And beyond that, you can see that the message of rescue and rebuilding this country from the failures and the damage that the APC has done is resonating with Nigerian people. That's why you see the crowd. That's why you see the exodus from other parties into our party. You will notice that in each of those consultative meetings from the zones, from Kano to Ibadan to Enugu to Bauchi, the crowd was monumental in terms of people and activity. And the love, they know that this is the only party that can rescue them from this state of anomaly that we find ourselves. But I can tell you this, those achievements stand the test of time, and Nigerians know better. I will make one point, which is very critical to the life of people.
Okay.
The pure water that we drink, sir, just 1 minute, sir. The pure water that the poor man takes on the street was 5 naira in 2015. Today is 20 naira, tomorrow it can be 25 naira. We don't want those uncertainty. We don't want those failure and somersault in economic policies, particularly from the central bank. Like, we are ready, the party is ready, our candidate is capable, with a wonderful team of Governor Kowa joining the team, and of course, a president candidate, Atiku. So you know, Nigerians are looking forward to us, and we represent the hope, and we're willing to go, we're set to go.
Okay. When you take a look at the mood of Nigerians today, many believe that a Northerner will be spending 8 years in power, and your party is presenting another Northerner to take over from another Northerner. How do you manage that kind of public perception crisis?
Yeah, again, when you talk about this, we are a party of laws, and we try as much as possible to ensure that the prescription of the federal character is reflected in this country. I think this election is about capacity, about experience, about the life of people who can change it, because we're in almost a crisis situation. In any event, the worst government in terms of being sensitive to the coloration of this country is the APC. All appointments from a particular sector, particularly the security architecture of this country, is controlled from the section of a country. That is why all these fears are there. But Atiku Abubakar had demonstrated capacity as a unifier. And I can tell you that when PDP was there, every part of this country was recognizing the fact that the diversity in this country needs to be managed. Even right now, the APC is saying to the whole world, and to the whole country, and everybody that we don't care. Because the differences in our diversity was ignored. There's no way you can bring in a Muslim ticket in this country and say to us that you have been sensitive. That is insensitivity. And of course, that's what they have done in the last 7.5 years.
All right.
So for us, we know that the Nigerian people are more interested in capacity so that they can bring them back from where they've been done.
All right. Now, there are reports
promise us to pick up from top to bottom. But you remember that when they brought on 1999, PDP brought the country back. Now APC have taken us back to the bottom.
All right, Honorable
PDP to take it back.
All right.
Yes,
there are reports that some leaders are meeting with Wike for reconciliation purpose. Now tell us, is there any hope for genuine reconciliation?
We're very, very hopeful. And because we have what I call a very robust dispute resolution mechanism, we're very hopeful. I mean, Governor Wike is a party man. Governor Wike is a phenomenon in this party. At some time in the life of this party, Governor Wike was almost the last man standing. And he has said this, and I have no reason to doubt his position. And I know, as a party man who has never left PDP for 1 minute, you will recall at the convention, Governor Wike said that whoever emerges, he will support. And he expects that if he emerges from that convention, that he will be supported. I have no reason to doubt his integrity, and I know he's a man of his words. Whenever he says something, he keeps to it. Yes, there are differences, But because again we have processes to resolve it, that is ongoing. Conversation is ongoing, it has never stopped, up to the point, to the position of the presidential candidate. So we are confident that those meetings will produce results. But like I said earlier, you don't have this conversation on the pages of newspapers or at the clerk line.
I would also like you to...
And we don't buy.
All right. I would also like you to give us a clearer picture regarding the bribery allegations concerning some members of the National Working Committee and the PDP National Chairman, Iyochayu.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I can clearly tell you there was no bribery allegation within the NWC. And I'll tell you straight away, I'll tell you the whole Nigerians what happened. The party, consistent with the condition of service, the NWC, a proposal was brought in consistent with our processes. And at that meeting, it was agreed, getting input from the admin department of the party on what is the entitlement of each of the members. And again, I just need to stress this. This payment was done to every member, every staff of this party. The approval was given in July. And all staffs were paid the housing allowance in line with the conditions of service. Then the officials, the party officials at the NWC level were then paid about 3 weeks ago. Now, I have said this severally. If anybody got paid and decides to return it, of course, that would be nice for the party, and that would be patriotic. But to equate it to a bribe completely is not true, it is false, and every member participated in the conversation, including those who returned the money. The money was not a bribe, it was an entitlement that went through the due process of the party, and it was paid in accordance with the procedures of the party. So there's no bribe. With respect to the money that was returned, it was a true entitlement of all members of staff, and that's very critical. Okay. Because they couldn't have been, the staff could not have been bribed as well. So it is not true, it is a lie. There's no any issue about bribery in this party, and so it's completely false. There was no bribery.
Okay, I want to know why, in your own thinking, who force those who returned the money to do so? What do you think was responsible?
Well, again, I mean, it would be wrong for me to begin to speculate on the intention of people. They are alive, the members of the NWC, and then for me, it will be, I think it will be uncharitable to begin to imagine and impute a motive to them. Well, I believe this is a good and very veritable platform, respected very worldwide. You have a large platform to communicate your ideas. So please, you might invite them so that they can tell you exactly and tell you why they returned.
Fair enough.
It's clear and
fair enough, Mr. Ologunagwa. Fair enough. During the media briefing that Governor Wike held recently, he accused the national chairman of the party of receiving an illicit 1 billion naira. The chairman has not responded to that accusation. Don't you think that by not responding, he is indirectly telling the rest of us that Wike didn't lie against him?
Let me make some clarification. I, Debo Olugunagba, speaks for the PDP. I do not speak for Senator Ayu as chairman of the party. Now, this allegation has been made by Governor Wike against Senator Dr. Ayu. I think it will be out of place for me to begin to speak to a conversation I wasn't part of, and a question I wasn't part of. Okay. And I think what we should leave it to is what I can say when it concerns the party. So for me, these questions you may want to direct to the chairman himself in his personal capacity. He was not accused of collecting money for the party. And so I know you have the platform to reach the chairman, but I can say to you, I cannot comment on an issue for which I don't know about, and I think that's what I will say for now.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Debo Ologunagwa. We've been speaking with the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Thank you for bringing us up to speed with issues within your party. Be careful.
Yeah.
We heard him.
He said it.
He's done his best. There are certain questions that he cannot answer. And many people remain unconvinced that that money that was shared does not have K-leg of some sort.
All right.
So it's a matter that divides Nigerians. Some believe that it was just politics being played by the people who returned the money, while some believe that there is actually something amiss. And don't forget, some PDP members have already petitioned the EFCC asking it to investigate those PDP leaders that took the money. And some were also accused of extorting money from candidates of the parties.